Hey everyone of the Change Your Habits, Change Your Life challenge. Tonight we're talking all about secret strategies to be able to make positive habits last. Can't wait to connect with you all tonight. I'm just going to get myself organized as you come on live. Hey Nadia, good to see you. Anna's here. Hey Joanna, good to see you ladies. Awesome. Lorna's here. Welcome back, Lorna. Samantha and Rebecca are back. Hey, Jem, good to see you. Samantha, welcome. Yeah, great. Paula and Emily. Hey, Joanna. Hey, Lorna. Awesome. So good to see you all back here tonight. Can't wait to share tonight's content with you. I'm just going to close up some of these tabs. I've just got too many tabs open and it's going to be distracting for me as we get into content. So last night was another epic training. We were talking about the importance of receiving, right? Allowing yourself to receive and how that's really going to allow you to invite more bliss and well-being into your life this year, and how learning how to receive is so imperative when it comes to creating the change that you want, and also receiving the ideas and the solutions and the clarity we need to be able to make that happen. So if you haven't checked out day number 2 yet, you can go and check out the replay inside the group. It'll be up for a few more days as well. And you'll be able to actually access all of the recordings from this challenge if you choose to carry on and join my new program that I'll be chatting a little bit more about at the end of tonight's session. You'll get all of the recordings from this week as well. So if you haven't had a chance to get through all of these, or it's been a busy week, or you would just love these as a record to come back to, there's totally a way for you to be able to access these recordings, and it will be by joining the program and the doors will be opening tomorrow, which is exciting, and I'll chat a bit more about that later on. About what were your ahas from last night, and from sort of taking some time to reflect on last night and some of the things that we were talking about. Let me know below. What were some of those ahas for you when we were talking about receiving and really getting you connected with the things that light you up and make you feel your best? Let me know some of those ahas. I would love to hear them in the comments below. Welcome back, Michelle. Hey, Rebecca, Joanna, Lisa, Nicola. I made it, says Lisa. So good to see you. Paula, welcome. Hey, Emily. Great, Johanna's here. Evening, Carla. Great. Awesome, so good to see you. Okay, so day 1, if you missed it, that was the 2-step practice that I use every morning, and many of you are getting into it now and seeing the amazingly positive benefits that this practice can have for you as well. So go and check that out too. And today is all about the secret strategies to making positive habits last. Tomorrow night, for day number 4, I'm going to be opening up for a Q&A. So basically, I'm not going to have any prepared content for tomorrow night. It's essentially a live open Q&A session. So bring along any of your questions, anything that you've been stuck with, maybe a question you've been holding on to this week, and maybe you've been feeling a wee bit shy to ask it, or perhaps it's a question that you've been having for a while. You've had it for a while, but you haven't been connected with the right support to be able to move through it. Bring your questions tomorrow. As I said, there's no prepared content, and it's your opportunity to get personalized support from me. So I would love to see as many of you as possible on tomorrow night's session, so I can support as many of you with your questions. And if you don't have a question, it's definitely worth coming along as well, because I know with sessions like this, when I'm answering one question for someone, I'm actually answering a question for everyone that's live, the whole online room essentially. Because when we're in communities like this, we all have the same desires, we all have the same stuck points and the same challenges. So you're going to notice that when I'm supporting one person with a question, it's going to be something that really resonates with you and has an application in your own life as well. So a good question came through just before we went live tonight, and that was talking about the practice from day 1. And the question was about visualization. And the question was, the person who asked the question was saying that she felt a little bit conflicted by visualization because she was saying that she's sort of being taught to be mentally open and really in a state of awareness, to be open to those divine downloads that can come when we're in that space. And so she was wondering, can visualization interfere with that process? And another great question, you know, can that really set us up for an expectation rather than allowing ourselves to just be open to receive what the universe has to offer for us? And I thought that was a really great question because it's an important one to answer. So whenever we're talking about manifestation and aligning ourselves with outcomes and wanting to attract certain things into our life, it's really important to remember that we need to be as unattached as we can to the outcome. And I know this is not always easy, particularly when we want something really badly, but we need to be in a state of being fully and completely aligned with the goal and really focused on it, but at the same time be unattached, to know that we are safe and that we're worthy regardless. So even if it doesn't show up in the way we expect or in the timing that we expect, it's always this or something better. So the answer is to throw everything at it from a mindset perspective. So do the daily writing, do the visualization, and then it's really important to release whatever it is that you want to be attracting into your life and know that it's always this or something better. So if you notice that you get quite attached to outcomes and you might feel yourself getting a little bit attached to an outcome when you visualize it, that's an affirmation that I often use when I can feel myself getting into that space, this or something better. And if you're wanting to connect with the divine downloads, as I like to call them, I recommend that quiet reflection time that I was talking about in yesterday's session. And meditation is great for that, or any other quiet reflection time, to use that time to receive the downloads. Visualization is not really so much a space where you receive answers. It's more as a way to put yourself in the vibration of what you want and to really build the faith within yourself that it's possible for you, so that you actually take the action to get it and you become a vibrational match for it, and you're much more likely to attract to attract it into your life. So that's really the value of visualization. If you're looking to connect with, whatever answers need to come to you, then that's the power of meditation or quiet reflection time or listening time. So I hope that helps to answer that question. I thought it was a really good question that came up, and something that I think many of you will relate to as well. Welcome to Katrina. Tina's back. Welcome. Rebecca's saying the answers come when we're aligned. Didn't know this. We'll be making space. Perfect. That's great. So that was your aha from last night, Rebecca. Great. Hey, Rosie. So good to see you. The aha from last night was that I get in my own way. I need to work on respecting and believing in myself and making myself a priority. Amen to that. That is such an important point. So good to hear. Anyone else, ladies, want to share some of your ahas from yesterday's receiving challenge? I would love to hear that as well. So who is ready for day number 3? Give me a yes below if you're ready for day number 3. How to make positive habits last. Because I know that this is a big challenge for many of us, because we can start off with this positive intention. Yes, I'm doing this. I've got this idea, or I've integrated this new habit. And then we ride on that momentum for a while, right? That sense of positivity and that motivation. But then not long after, that positivity and that motivation begins to wane, right? And this is when things get a bit hard. We get a bit busy. Things start to take over. And then we fall back into old habits. And the change that we felt once really inspired about actually becomes a bit of a distant memory. So what I want to talk to you about, anyone recognize that? We've been talking a little bit about that over the last couple of days as well. And I know many of you have mentioned that it is a pattern that has showed up in your life. I know it has in my life as well. And these are all strategies that I continue to use and implement anytime I feel myself, falling off the bandwagon. Lorna is saying, thanks. Yeah, I had a similar question. Okay, cool. I'm pleased that has been useful for you. Lisa, you're a hell yeah. I love it. Yes, please, says Gloria and Miriam. Awesome, Nicola. Yes, totally ready, says Lynn. Awesome. Heck yeah, girlfriends. Love it. Lorna, yes. Katrina, Amy, Emma. Yes, yes, yes. Always falling back into old habits, says Rosie. Okay, great. Awesome. Okay. So what I'm going to take you through is some strategies to be able to, for you to be able to go and implement and to really think about as you move into this new year and you think about implementing and integrating these habits that we've talked about in the challenge and other things that are also a priority for you as well. So first strategy that I want to share with you is don't try and do it all at once. So think about an area of your life where you found it difficult to follow through and be consistent. So think about it. What is that thing? Get that in your mind. Have you got it? Welcome to pop it in the comments below. What is that one thing, that area of your life that you just feel it's hard for me to be consistent in this area and follow through? And then I want you to ask yourself, what has the strategy been that you have employed in that area up until this point? So think about that area of your life that's been hard to be consistent in. And then what has been the strategy that you have sort of been approaching change in that area up until this point? What does that look like? And for, some of you that might be eating and health stuff, that could be maintaining the mindset stuff, the mindset practices. It could be about improving your relationships, anything really. I want you to think about what your strategy has been in that area. Welcome back, Paula. So, what hasn't been working about that strategy? Because often what happens is we're trying to create change with the same strategy over again, and it's not creating anything different for us. It's not creating a different result. So we're trying to change this area of our life, but we're doing it the same way, essentially, over and over again. And what I often see in my work and with members of my community is the strategy is, when it comes to change, is it's often trying to completely overhaul our life and do everything at once. And I've been there. I'm a type A personality, and I want things to happen now, and I want them to be done properly, and I want to do them all together now and just get it done. So this is a pattern that I need to be watching in my own life as well, because I'm kind of like a full throttle type of person. So think about it. And I know this is like an example that many of you could relate to. How many years have you started and tried to run every morning only to kind of miss and then throw the towel in? Maybe you've said to yourself, right, this week or this month, I'm going to get up and I'm going to exercise 5 mornings of the week or 7 mornings of the week because I want to lose X number of kilos in a month. So I'm going to throw everything at it and just go really hard. And that is the goal. I'm going to do it every day or like 5 times a week. And then what happens is we miss one morning and we throw the whole towel in, right? We just completely throw the change out the window. So it's really tempting to fall into this pattern because it feels exciting. The prospect of turning our lives upside down overnight, that prospect feels very exciting, doesn't it? It's very alluring to think, yes, I'm going to do all of this and then I'm going to get this result really quickly and it's going to happen like that. But I want you to look at how and if that strategy has been serving you up until this point. Because often it's really not effective, even though we really want it to be, yeah? So it's an opportunity now to change the strategy up. So it's much more effective for you to start small and start building in positive habits. So let me just jump into the comments to see what. Fitness and well-being, says Lisa. Healthier lifestyle, making time for me. Miriam, eating, exercise, fitness and health. Yes, it's a big thing. Consistency in that area of exercise and well-being and fitness, eating, all that kind of stuff. Making healthy choices, says Joanna. My husband is always telling me I go from 0 to 100, which lasts for a bit, and then the wheels fall off. Just what I've just been talking about, Joanna. You too, Nicola. Getting up early to have a more productive morning. Have tried setting a morning routine, starting with self-care and filling myself up. Also exercise. Have tried to approach from a place of self-love. Love that. Getting a personal trainer, and have tried so many different types of exercises to see if one sticks. Great, Rosie. Weight loss, says Emily. My strategy has always been kind of 12-week program, but now I'm succeeding because I've made it a lifestyle change, paradigm shift, absolutely key shift that's required. Good work, Emily. Full throttle all the way, says Rebecca. Type A2, says Miriam, so it has to be done properly. Totally you, says Joanna. Katrina, this is me with the running thing. Yeah. Okay, great. To be your max, says Emma. Health and well-being, Gloria. Yeah, okay, cool. So here's the thing. As I said, it's not as exciting to start small and then build in the habits, because it means you're not going to see this big life-changing results right away kind of thing. So it may mean you don't lose 10 kilos in 10 days, but what it will mean is that you stick with it. And guess what? Consistency is what creates results that last. Obviously, right? It's not rocket science. So if you think about an example of like running, like a health or a fitness example, it's like, okay, so if our mind, I'm going to do it every day or 5 times a week, I want you to ask yourself, okay, right, so that's been the strategy that I've employed every other time that I've tried this and it hasn't worked, right? So we've got to do that level of self-reflection, be a little bit honest with ourselves and realize, okay, I need to change this up. So what would it look like to start small with what it is that you want to change? What does that look like? It could literally be starting twice a week, going for a run twice a week, going for a walk after dinner twice a week. And then what happens is you're nailing that. And then you start to feel really good about the fact that you're nailing those twice a week runs or twice a week walks. And you go, yeah, actually, I'm not as useless as I thought I was, and we can say these things to ourselves. I'm actually capable of following through. Okay, this is good. So you starting blocks, right? We're starting to create some momentum. And then you start to build in an extra run. So you might go from 2 to 3 or 2 to 3 walks or whatever it might be. And this is what manageable change is. And you'll see yourself being able to maintain these things, and it's going to motivate you even further to keep going. So it's being able to keep it up and not fall out. Like when we do the all or nothing approach, what happens is we don't do something for 1 or 2 days, we just completely throw it out the window, right? Whereas when we can just start it small, it feels manageable and we can actually do it. We've got the energy to be able to do it and we can build up to that. So, I mean, this is not life-changing advice, but it's practical advice. Think about the strategy that you've been using to create change in your life. And if the approach hasn't been working for you, then it's time for you to change the strategy up, okay? This is the invitation to change the way you've been approaching creating change in that aspect of your life. So give me an example below in the comments of something that you could shift. So think about that area that's felt really hard, that has been difficult for you to maintain consistency in, and then ask yourself, what could be that small shift? Let's let go of the all or nothing, the perfectionism, the type A stuff that we often approach change with. And let's think, what is the small thing that feels like, I can nail that. I can do that right away. And then I want you to go and do that. And you'll be amazed at the level of satisfaction that you get from being able to nail that small goal, and then how that builds that internal motivation to keep going. Make sense? Give me your example below. I would love to hear it. What is your example? And then I'm going to move on to the next section. So the other thing that I want to talk to you about is this connection all right? It's looking like it's a little bit delayed. Can you guys let me know below? Can you hear me all right? Rosie, self-care, exercise, healthy eating, headspace, etc. Okay, cool. So what does it look like to start small with that area, Rosie, to build it in? What would that look like? To start small. Think about that area that's felt hard, and what is the small change, that the little shift that you can create starting from today that you could easily nail over the next week. Think about what that might be. And while you guys are dropping yours below, I want to give you the next strategy, which is really redefining what slip-ups mean, because they're part of the change process and we all go through them, even me as well. You know, slip-ups and employing old habits and going into old habits is all part of the change process. We need to really redefine what these slip-ups mean. A lunch break every day to twice a week. Great, Samantha, because I know that work-life balance thing was important too. You can hear fine. Okay, good. Awesome. Exercise only twice a week while in recovery. Sounds good, Nicola. Sounds like a manageable thing for you to do. Yeah, it is a little bit patchy. Hopefully it's all good. The angels will come in of technology and keep this connection lovely and clear. One day at the gym, Rosie. Perfect. You can nail that next week and feel really good about that. Exercise. This is so relevant right now, says Katrina. Lorna's saying, I'm struggling in general with setting up and then I want to do too many things and don't know how to prioritize. Yeah, so you just got to choose one thing. It's just that sometimes there's some of the perfectionism stuff that comes out and we're like, no, but I want to do it all. I have to do it all in order to be able to create the change that I want. And truthfully, you just need to start with one. So choose the one that's resonating the most with you at the moment, Lorna, and stick with that. One day focused at a time, says Michelle. Okay, cool. So as I was saying, redefining what slip-ups mean, because they are part of the change process and they don't mean that you need to throw the towel in. So when you approach change and then what happens is you might do something that you'd promised yourself that you wouldn't do, you fall back into an old habit, you miss something, then it's simply about looking at it as, oh, whoops, there goes that old habit again. There goes me doing that old thing again. And it doesn't mean we need to judge ourselves for that, yeah? So it's just like, oh, there goes me playing out the old self. You know, the old self, the one that created the thing I want to move away from. And just see a slip up for what it is, yeah? It doesn't make you a bad person and you don't need to get down on yourself and judge yourself, because it's that self-criticism that we do. And as women, we are terrible at this, aren't we? We get down on ourselves and we judge ourselves for slipping back into old habits. And this is what makes us self-sabotage. This is what makes us fall off the bandwagon. The self-sabotage really comes from a lot of the self-criticism that we employ when we fall off the bandwagon. A slip-up does not mean that you've screwed the whole process up. A slip-up can literally just be, it's a day, or it was a week where things didn't go according to plan. Why does that mean that the whole thing has to be chucked out the window? That's often where we go to, right? So it's about realizing, okay, whoops, there I go again. I'm employing that old habit. I'm doing that old thing that I used to do, but that's not who I am anymore. I don't do that. But I do know that this is part of the change process. When I'm up leveling and I'm changing things in my life, I know that the old things are going to come in, and that's okay. So we can't judge ourselves for that. We have to really show ourselves love and compassion when we're changing habits, because it can feel scary. We've got to be courageous. We're changing new things. Anytime we step outside of our comfort zone and start doing things that are new and different, it does feel scary. Some of those blocks will come up. It's your job to really nurture and love yourself through that process. So there's no room for self-criticism and judgment when you're trying to change if you want it to last for the long term. So redefine what slip-ups mean and realize that they don't have to cost you the whole process. Does that make sense? Cool. Love that. Oops, says Rebecca. That's literally all you need to do. Oops, there I go, doing that thing that I just said I wasn't going to do, but that's okay. I'm redefining what slip-ups mean in my life. Remind yourself about that, yeah? So we can't expect, and this is something really important to remember, we can't expect that unhealthy, or I mean, I don't even really like to use that word because that feels like loaded with judgment. We can't expect habits that have been reinforced over and over again, and sometimes for years and sometimes even decades, for those things to just disappear overnight, right? Very rarely do we make a decision that we're going to change something and then it's just upward from there, right? It's just plain sailing. The change process is not linear like that. It's filled with ups and downs because we've often reinforced some of these habits for a long time. So don't expect that you're going to nail it straight out of the gates, right? Understand that slip-ups are a part of the change process. Learn to recognize them when they occur and then choose differently. That's what the important thing is. You have the power to choose differently. Your habits and patterns don't actually have control over you. I think we often give our power away to our patterns and our habits and think that it's something that's got all of this massive hold over us, and we give our power away to these things. Realize it's just a pattern of behavior. It's just something that's been reinforced for a long period of time, so it's become familiar to you. Your job is to make this new habit and this new pattern that serves you better more familiar than the old pattern, yeah? So when the slip-ups happen, recognize them, see them for what they are, and then choose again. Choose differently, because you have the power to be able to do that. There's no one standing over you saying, oh, well, that means you won't ever be able to do X, Y, or Z, or that's never going to happen to you. But those are the stories that we tell ourselves. But we actually have the power to be able to look at this differently and then choose again. And that's why this daily writing practice that we talked about in day one is so helpful, because it's going to help reinforce those patterns of thought and that type of thinking that supports you in choosing again and choosing differently. Hopefully that makes sense. This makes so much sense, says Katrina. Great. I've been doing that with food and it's been really working. Good, Lynn. Good, good, good. So good to hear. Johanna's saying, I started to view the slip-ups as part of the journey. Beautiful. Current problem is that my partner is still criticizing me. I asked him already to stop doing that and to focus on himself instead, but it's not working yet. That's difficult, and I'm sorry to hear that you're going through that. So I think it can be hard when we're in a period of transformation and change, and not everyone around us is on board. So I think it's always starting off with, as you having an honest and vulnerable conversation with the people in your life to say, hey, I need you to not get down on me when I do this, because I'm already doing that to myself and I don't need you to be doing that. So make sure you're having that kind of level of vulnerability. If that feels safe to you, have those conversations with people in your life. And then if he still does it, Johanna, then it's about creating that sense of strength within yourself to rise above it and to know that, okay, that's him playing out a pattern himself and it doesn't need to affect you. So you work out what you need to do, what your strategy is that you employ if he does do that, so that it doesn't derail you and pull you out of the game, yeah? So you need to dial up that level of approval and self-love when you're doing the change, so that you've got this big, beautiful buffer that protects you from comments like that. Rosie, I feel like I have so much going on in my life and trying to prioritize different things that I basically forget that I've decided to make a change on one particular thing. Yes, we're going to talk about that in a second, Rosie. Really good point about how we stay aligned with these goals and intentions. So you brought up a really good point. Gloria saying that makes so much sense. Hey, Sarah, Karita's here. Awesome. Okay, so the next thing that I want you to think about is how you can begin to adapt and make things work for you. So some of the things that we've talked about inside this challenge, you may have listened to them or watched the video or had a look at them and thought, you know what, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if that's going to work for me in my routine, or I don't know if that's going to be realistic for me. And the thing is, there's no point trying to implement something if you feel like it's not going to work. So obviously we need to be creating space for the change and making sure that we're prioritizing ourselves and our own growth and development, and so that we do have the time and energy to commit to these things. But if you sort of feel like, hey, this is not going to work for me, or I need to, really look at how you can begin to adapt and make some of these practices work for you. So I think it was Emily. Was it you, Emily? You were talking about how the daily writing practice, you weren't going to have time to be able to do it at first thing in the morning because is it you have children? I can't quite remember your comment. I think it was you, Emily. So you took some advice, I think you said, from your sister-in-law. So what you've done is you've written out in the evening your daily writing, and then first thing in the morning, you read it aloud from your journal. And so that happens a lot more quickly rather than having to write it out. I love that idea, and it's a beautiful example of how you can adapt things to make them work for you. So if you're consuming content, mine or someone else's or anything else that you read out there, and you think, you know what, I don't know if that's going to work for me, or it's not realistic, then make sure that you are not using some of these things as a reason not to implement them. Because to be honest, I see mindset work as basic hygiene. I see it as important as brushing my teeth and washing my face. It's basic hygiene because nothing happens unless we're aligned, right? So if we want anything good to happen in our life, we need to be aligned. That's part of it. We've got to align our energy and raise our vibration. It's one of the most important things. A gift that we could ever give ourselves and anyone else is to make sure that we're showing up in the energy that we want to be. So I see this work as basic hygiene, but you need to look at how you can really adapt and make it work for you in your life. So if I've mentioned anything over the last few days and they've not immediately resonated with you, or you can't quite see how you can make them work for yourself, or anything else that you've seen out there, make sure you're looking at the ways that you can make it work for yourself. It was you, Emily. I thought it was you. Lynn, you'll be the same, because I remember you saying that you've got a little one as well, so that could be a really good idea for you. Carla's saying, great idea, Emily. Kids to understand the concept of 10 minutes of me time. It's working well so far. Okay, great. And I often do that. Like if I'm short on time, if I've got to be out the door first thing in the morning, don't often need to, because I don't sort of plan my day that way. But if I need to, then I will have, I've got journals full of stuff that I've written. So I'll just pick a page and I might read something from that, and that will align me. Or as I was saying, I think in day one, I'll chant it in the car. You start to kind of, these statements start to sort of swirl around in your mind, and you can kind of pick them out. So use them on your commute, say them in the car. That's an easy way for you to be able to adapt that practice as well. Really, the most important thing is to make some of these things easy for you. Otherwise, we just don't do it. So what could be, this is a question to ask yourself. If you're feeling resistance to implementing or integrating a habit into your life, a question you could ask yourself is, how could I make this easier? If it was easier, what would it look like? How could I make this easier? So the next thing that I want to share with you is about incremental progress. And it kind of relates to one of the first points that I made. So I was listening to a podcast the other day, and the podcast person, the host, was talking about how we really underestimate the power of incremental progress, right? So he was talking about how we really can see and understand, and we know the power of incremental regress, right? Because we can eat a little bit too much in the holiday season, and some of you may have sort of recognized this over the holidays as well. We eat a little bit too much, that leads to one thing after another, and then we put on a few kilos, and before long, we're out of shape and we're not where we want to be, and we don't feel good. We feel lethargic, right? So incremental progress is really the exact opposite of that. It's about taking the next right step. And then it's about doing that again tomorrow, and then doing that again next week. And then eventually those right steps begin to add up and will get you to where you want to be. Yeah. So it's not always about this life-changing, and it's hard because that's what we see, right? It's perpetuated through all of the messages that we see. A lot of things that we see online and a lot of things that are advertised are talking about this, results in 5 minutes and how things can happen so quickly. And the reality is that change and permanent change happens over the long term. That's the reality of it, yeah? So I want you to be, rather than chasing after the big exciting change, as we were talking about earlier, I want you to look at incremental progress and realizing that there is an immense value in incremental progress, yeah? It's about doing the right step today, and then doing that again tomorrow, and then doing that again next week. I'll share an example with you. I used to be a smoker, and actually like quite a heavy smoker. I can't remember how long ago I gave up. Maybe 7 years ago, I gave up smoking. And I remember this was like, I couldn't even imagine not smoking. Like that's how addicted I was. I loved smoking back in the day. And so I remember thinking like giving up smoking would be the hardest thing I could ever do. I couldn't have imagined anything harder than giving up smoking. And so what I did was I said to myself, and you can really apply this to any change that you want in your life, is, okay, I'm not going to tell myself that I'm never not smoking ever again, because that for me just felt like completely out of reach and too scary. So what I said to myself was, okay, I'm going to make the right action today. So today, I'm not going to smoke. I'm not worried about tomorrow, and I'm not worried about next week. But today, I'm going to make the right choice, and that is to not smoke. And then I woke up the next day and I did that again. And then I woke up the next day and I did that again. And then before long, I'd not smoked in like 2 weeks. And for me, that was like, incredible, amazing, because I'd never been that long without smoking before. And so, and then I literally never smoked again, and I haven't smoked, ever since, whatever it was, 6 or 7 years ago since I've given up. So really, we underestimate the power of this taking the right steps and then doing that again, and this incremental progress over time. There's huge value in being able to do that. Does that make sense? Amanda, makes a lot of sense. My habit I'd like to break is more around some of my emotional reactions when dealing with situations in my life. I'm less than happy with the frustration I feel when you're stuck, bored, and on the brink of change can make me act out, and the way I express myself can let me down. Yes, so a lot of people will definitely resonate with what you're saying, Amanda. So letting the old pattern of acting out carry on. So not letting the old habit of acting out carry on. And just being present enough with yourself as well, Amanda, creating that space. So hopefully you checked out the session from last night, because I think sometimes when we're not connected with our own emotions, and we feel like they get the better of us, or they kind of become this runaway train, it's often because we're not connected to ourselves enough. We're not giving ourselves that space. We're not allowing ourselves to receive enough. So doing those things, you're going to feel much more present with your emotions, and you're going to be able to witness them a lot more rather than jump onto them and let them kind of take over. Make sense? I like to give less of my power away by caring what others think of me, so long as I'm happy and proud of how I'm showing up and being. That's all that matters. Absolutely. That's so much more empowering it is. Hope that makes sense. I've always cared about people liking me and what they think, but I actually find it's unhelpful as I put way too much emphasis on this. Yes, absolutely. And it's very common, and it's something that I definitely support a lot of my clients with. It's a very common block that comes up, and it really can hold us back from being and doing more and creating the change that we want in our lives. And it really is the most important thing. I mean, this is a massive topic, and we could talk about this for like, a whole month and probably just, just scratch the sides of it. But really, what I want you to think about is, I was actually speaking to a client about this today. She Voxed me. My private clients have Voxer access to me outside of our private sessions, and something similar had come up for her today around this. And I think it's really about saying to yourself, like, you've got to go to the end, and you have to say to yourself, who gets to the end of their life and feels satisfied about the fact that they've made choices that other people would approve of? Yeah? No one. So I think it's really about saying, can you, Amanda, go to bed at night and say, hand on heart, I'm showing up the way I want to be, and I'm doing things that light me up, that make me feel good, that allow me to be of service to others as well. But first and foremost, is it allowing me to show up in my life the way I want to? Is it allowing me to shine my light and live an aligned life? That's the most important thing in all of this. And if you can go to bed and say to yourself, I like who I am, and I like what I'm doing, and I like who I'm being, then you've won, right? No one else's opinions actually matter outside of that. So if you can go to bed and really feel like that at the end of the day, then you're sweet. Yeah. And it's about integrating some of those habits every morning, to be rewriting some of those stories, any of those stories that come up around, needing to please other people and needing to, place their opinions above your own. Really thinking about what are those thoughts and beliefs that you need to be energizing that support you, and kind of breaking up some of those things. So massive topic, and that's just kind of like a little intro, but I hope that helps you. Emily, I'm actually going to start to teach my kids that I need a little quiet time in the morning. It's a lovely way for you to be receiving. Love that. This will take time, but I know it's possible. Yeah, incremental progress. Yeah. So much wisdom in that advice. You're welcome. Awesome. Yes, I overworked trying to be perfect in my work as a mother and wife. Totally became disconnected. Then I had a mini stroke. Oh, Nicola, recovering well now. Good to hear, but realize I need to implement good long-term change and take amazing care of yourself. And you can realize really at the root of all of our behavior is a set of beliefs. That's really where we need to go to, is to work at that level, to understand, what do I believe about myself that's causing me to behave in a way that doesn't serve me? That's the level that we need to work at. And that's what I love to do, is to actually not just talk about some of these surface things, which I know are helpful and you're going to have a lot of, it's going to create value for you, but also to really go to that bottom level. That's where the deep and lasting transformation takes place, is to look at, okay, well, what beliefs need to shift? What beliefs do I hold about myself and maybe other people that I'm holding on to and energizing that are causing me to behave in these ways that don't serve me? And then watching, and creating that shift at that level. And again, that's where that daily writing practice really comes in handy. Yes, most of the time, totally. I just need to take things less personally, be the adult me all the time, not the childish, emotional, needy part of me. Thanks. Beautiful advice. You're welcome. You really are very good. Thank you, Paula. That's lovely. Very kind. So back to what we're talking about, incremental progress. Really celebrating these wins, right? Being the first to recognize and celebrate yourself when things are going well. And creating that internal environment within yourself of love and positivity. Really important. Kind of buzzy words, I know, but this is really important. You've got to be able to create that environment within yourself of self-respect, self-worth, and love, because what happens is, if we are filling ourselves up with those types of vibrations and emotions, then we're naturally going to lean toward and be drawn to positive actions and habits, yeah? We're going to feel much more inclined to eat well, exercise, look after our bodies, interact with other people in our lives in a healthy and loving way, if we are filling ourselves up with that kind of energy as well. Does that make sense? So really looking at being kind and compassionate towards yourself when you are creating change. It's so the old pattern to be hard on ourselves and to tell ourselves how useless we are. We have to change this thing, or it's got to be done, or we've got to overhaul it. And again, it's looking at, has that silly old strategy worked in the past? And it just hasn't. So it's time to really create that internal environment of self-worth, acceptance, and love, to recognize yourself when you're brave enough to change patterns and you're on the path to change, and creating that beautiful environment of love, that loving energy within yourself. And I promise you, no change will happen long term by you criticizing yourself to change. That just does not happen. That leads us to habits and behaviors that are very low vibration, that are very negative, right? That we are drawn to those things when we have an environment within ourselves that's low vibration, that's negative, that's self-critical and judgmental. So it's about creating that internal environment, filling yourself up with love and self-acceptance, and then you're going to be naturally drawn to those really positive actions and habits. Make sense? So next thing is making space for the change. I'm not going to go too much into this because that's everything that we covered yesterday in yesterday's training in day number 2. So if you haven't checked that one out, make sure that you go and check out day number 2. That was all about coming off busy mode and really creating the space to be able to commit to change. So making sure that we're not racing around, overgiving and overcommitting and making things happen everywhere else, and then wondering why we're not able to commit to the change that we want in our lives, because essentially there's no room for it. So we've got to create, if we want to welcome the new, we need to be able to create space for it. And often that means deprioritizing things in our life, letting go of some of the fluff that is not actually supporting us and moving us to where we want to be. So that was all about yesterday. So making space for change is really important. Now, Rosie, you talked about this just before, about keeping your intentions top of mind. And that's my next strategy that I want to share with you, is keeping your intentions top of mind. So don't let the things that you want to change in your life be something that you just write on a napkin or in a nice little shiny journal on the 1st of January, and then you put it away into a desk drawer, or it just kind of sits on your bookshelf somewhere. Your goals and intentions need to be in front of you, and there needs to be a conscious reminder in front of you about what it is that you're working towards. So I mean, I'm harping on about this, but this is why it really works. The daily writing practice, that is a way to keep your intentions top of mind, to be writing them out every single day. Can you imagine what might happen if for the next 30 days you were to write every morning about statements about being in the energy of the end outcome that you want? Can you imagine how your behavior and actions would begin to shift if that's what you are energizing every day? That's truly how powerful this is. So that's an amazing way to keep your intentions and your goals really top of mind and really to stay present with them. Super important. Other thing, visualizing yourself in the future state of your goals. Obviously, naturally, that's going to lead you to change habits and to behave in a way that's aligned with that vision. So those are the things we talked about in day one. The next thing are visual cues. So think about a goal or something that you want to change, and you want to put something on your fridge about it. Put it in your cupboard, your cupboards, that you're going in and out of throughout the day. Put some of these things somewhere so that when you're kind of naturally going about your daily life, your goal or intention is in front of you. So you see it and then you go, yes, that's who I am. That's what I'm working towards. And it lifts your vibration and it puts you in that vibration of having the goal. Yeah, really important. Something else that's really helpful is having a pop-up reminder on your phone. And I used to do this for ages. I actually haven't done this in a while. But let's say that there's something that you want to be achieving, something that you want to be attracting into your life, a goal that you want to align to. Do one of those reminder pop-ups and have that come up, at a certain time, throughout the day. It might say something like, congratulations, you have achieved X, Y, or Z. Well done, you are the person who, da-da-da-da-da, whatever it is. And then when that reminder pops up on the phone, it's a way for you to really lift your vibration and be in gratitude. That's the cue for this. The reminder pops up about the goal, you having achieved the goal, whatever it is. And then you say, thank you, universe. Thank you for sending this thing to me. Be in gratitude of the fact that this thing has happened and it's turned up. That's a really powerful way to, again, cement that goal or intention at a deeper level. Let me just go into the comments. Yes, says Amanda. Okay, cool. Excellent. So what else are we talking about? Sticky notes on the dashboard of your car. That's another way that you can stay really aligned with these things. A vision board. I'm sure we all know about vision boards. That's another way that you can kind of actually create, a real visual picture of what it is that you're working towards, and people find those really effective. I do have a thing about vision boards, and it's sort of a reason why they're not a big part of my teachings. I don't really talk about them because I think there's a tendency that we just create a vision board and then it just happens. We hear these stories about this thing being on my vision board and it magically appearing in my driveway or at my house one day. And, sometimes we can be so aligned with a goal that it just shows up like that. And it's pretty exciting when manifestations like that happen. But a lot of the time, it's a process of what I like to call co-creating. It's having a vision and being clear on what you want and then taking the daily aligned action to be able to get it. Yeah. It's not about forcing yourself and hustling and making things happen and pushing. It's always you wanting to approach change from a place of flow, being open and receptive to any of the ideas that the universe or whatever it is that you believe in, your higher self, your soul, the guidance that comes from those places, being open and receptive to those. So being in flow. But yeah, I just have this thing about vision boards that I think sometimes people talk about them as if that's the only thing you ever need to do. Pop your vision board up on your wall and away you go and you're all good. Vision boards are great, but they're just a tool. There's something that can accompany a strong level of self-belief and daily alignment towards your goal. Mindset alignment and also action taking. Does that make sense? Give me a yes below if that makes sense. I like to have things around my house that keep my goals really top of mind or my intentions top of mind. So if you were to ever come to my house, you would see that there are affirmations everywhere and often all over my shower door that remind me of the things I would like to attract into my life, the way I'd like to be, how I want to be showing up in the day. So I've got these affirmations on my shower door and I look at them every morning, and it helps to be that reminder of, yes, that's who I am. That's who I want to be. That's what I'm working towards. That's what's important to me. So you can see that's another really automatic way that you can align with goals. You don't want to have to make a lot of these things hard, right? We want to make a lot of these things automatic. So when you look around your day and your life, how can you be putting some of these visual cues in areas that you're already walking around and interacting with? Does that make sense? So it's about being really present with your goals and intentions. As I said earlier, not letting some of these things that we've been talking about just be, you know, something that we put in a nice shiny journal and a nice little thing at the beginning of January. We want them to be something that we're walking with. They're a living and breathing intention, which has really beautiful and active energy around them. And that's how we do that. Yeah. So I would love to hear below, comment and let me know. Think of all the ways, it could be one or two things that you want, you know, that are important to you this year. How can you keep that intention or goal or desire or dream, whatever it is, how can you keep that top of mind based on the things that I've just shared with you? How can you be keeping that top of mind? I would love to hear below. So give that to me in the comments. How can you, based on those things that I've just been talking about, how can you stay really aligned with those goals? Looking forward to hearing. So make sure you pop them below. And the next thing is really about who is on your team. Who is on your team when it comes to creating positive change in your life? And getting support is so important. And particularly in this area of our life, because I think we often spend money in lots of other areas. We, you know, spend money on cars, we might go away on holiday, we get a gym membership, we do these things, we buy nice clothes, whatever it is, we spend money in these other areas. And then we actually forget that fundamentally, if we don't feel good within ourselves, and if we're not in a good space ourselves, and if we're not actively working towards things that make us feel inspired and light us up, none of those things that we purchase or buy really ever give us the desired effect. Have you ever noticed that? That you've always thought, oh, that holiday is going to make me feel better, so I better book that holiday now. That's going to make me feel better. And then we go on holiday and we don't feel any different. We get home and we think, oh, well, I'm back where I started. Or we might feel a bit shit about ourselves, and so we go out and buy that new dress, and we buy it and it might give us a thrill for a little bit, and then we're back to where we started. Yeah. So we're often getting support or spending money or investing money in lots of other areas of our lives, when really, as I said, if we are not feeling good within ourselves, and if we don't have the tools, and if we don't have the support in our life to be able to actually enjoy day-to-day life, to be able to feel that sense of joy and gratitude, to feel that sense of fulfillment, to be aligned and committed to the change that we want, none of those other things that we are working towards will ever give us the thrill or the buzz that we thought they would. Yeah. And I know that's been so true in my life. Let me know if you've noticed that in your life. You know, for a long period of time, I used to do that all the time, you know, thinking that if I can just go away on this holiday, or get that relationship, or do this, that, or the next thing, that'll solve all my problems, that'll make it better. But actually, I was the same person in all of those experiences. Nothing had fundamentally changed from within. Nothing about me and my mindset and how I was approaching my life had changed. And so those things never really gave me the long-term buzz that I hoped they would. So it is really common for us to make changes and revert back to old behaviors. And I hope some of the things that I've talked to you about tonight will really help you with that. And I know it can be challenging to commit to positive change and personal growth amongst all the things that we do in our lives. So one of the things that I really know to be true after working with, you know, so many clients, I really know that what creates lasting change in our life is when we're continuing to put ourselves into experiences where there's support, where there's inspiration, where there's coaching, and where there's community. And I know this is so important in my life. I continue, this is my work. I coach other people, but I'm continue to be coached and mentored by my coaches and mentors as well. And I have that on an ongoing basis. And, I don't see there being a point in my life where I don't have that support, right? So the thing that I really see when I'm working with my clients in long-term packages together, it's about having that ongoing connection with someone to help bring you into this space. This is what really creates these big shifts. But I also know, not everyone is in a position to commit to a private coaching package or a program, and it isn't for everyone as well. So I was talking a little bit about this towards the end of last night's training, and about this new program that I'm about to launch. So I'd been feeling the call for quite a while to create a program for my community where you could access ongoing support so that you could be held in a really supportive and uplifting environment, but at an affordable rate. So what I'm going to do is, if you have any questions about the things that I've discussed tonight, feel free to drop those below and I will come back to your questions. But I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking to you about this brand new program. It's officially launching tomorrow night. So you'll be kind of getting all the details about it tomorrow night, and you'll be able to check out the page and that sort of thing. But as I said, there is what I'm doing is I'm offering a founder's rate for the first 40 people that sign up for the program. You will get access to the founder's rate, and then it will double. The price will double and then double again after that. So if you're feeling the pull to have that kind of support, then make sure that you stay on. Let me just go back to the comments here. Yes, 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 is everyone great? Yeah, awesome. Cool. Yes, says Rosie, I have a whole new now going to take more care to do things that are good for my soul. I love that, Rosie. Making visuals around home and work, daily beliefs and gratitude, helping to maintain a positive mindset, says Katrina. Great. Toilet door affirmations, that's a good one. Phone pop-ups. Your stepmom had photos inside the cupboard where she kept the tea bags. That's such a great one, Emma. Positive message in the slot I have in my diary for lunch. Great. Something sitting next to my bed so when I wake up, I love the phone reminder idea. Cool. Pop-up reminders for you, Emily. You've got a proactive app, Michelle. Awesome. It's got a habit tracker and it sends you reminders when you've logged to do them. What a great idea. Apps are so cool for that, aren't they? The dress is you, Emma. Yep, that's really big. Having visuals in your business, a positive message in a photo frame. Cool. I love that. That's so great. Awesome. So, as I said, I've put together a really special offer where you can join this brand new program as a founding member. As I said, there's 40 places available, and once they've been filled, the price is going to double. So let me tell you a little bit about the program before it officially launches tomorrow night. If you're really seeking that level of support in your life and you're feeling drawn to it. So the new program is called Rise Up. And it's a monthly membership program to uplift you, inspire, and support you to make positive changes in your life and to go all in on your dreams this year in 2019, even when it feels easier not to. So the membership includes weekly content for as long as you're a member on all things related to living an inspired life and manifesting and achieving your dreams. So there's no long-term commitment, so you can cancel at any time, and really you're just getting this beautiful content dripped out to you for as long as you're a member. So each month you're going to receive a monthly focus. So that's me creating a really special theme for all of us to work on, so you're always focused and clear about what you need to be doing to create the change that you want. Each month you're going to get a brand new inspiring coaching audio from me. So I'm giving you really clear step-by-step guidance for you to get into action, for you to be able to feel your best and for you to be able to make your dreams happen this year. So those are really powerful. My clients tell me that they love my coaching audios because of how inspired they make them feel, how motivated they are to get into action. And I love being able to break down concepts and make them really clear and practical for you. So you'll get a brand new coaching audio every month. There are live Q&A sessions every month as well, just like these ones that we've been doing. So you'll get one of these every month so you can get questions answered, You can receive personalized coaching from me. You can connect with members of our community, and it's always just a really buzzy, uplifting experience, like as you've probably found over the last few days as well. There's a lovely supportive community that's part of the Rise Up program. So you're going to find a ton of encouragement in that community. You'll get weekly accountability emails from me. So you're starting every week feeling inspired, and I'm giving you that accountability to be able to stay on track. I'll be sharing all sorts of lifestyle tips for health, wealth, and love. I'll be creating wellness lists for you. I'm giving you behind the scenes access to my own habits and practices, and really everything that you need to be able to create the change that you want. So we'll be diving deep. We'll be going into helping you clear the blocks and limitations that are preventing you from following through on the change that you want and getting to where you want to be, and letting those go. And I'm going to help you really reset and create the level of self-belief and confidence that's required to get to where you want to be. We'll clarify your goals and intentions. You're going to learn how to care for yourself in a beautiful way, so you're moving through your day feeling so much more calm and much more connected to yourself. We'll be talking about manifestation and how to attract the things that you want into your life. So really, the big intention behind me creating this program was to provide you with the content and practical tools and the ongoing support and accountability so you stay on track. And what I want to do with this program is to give you bite-sized pieces of inspiration and coaching each month, so that they're really straight to the point and they're really easy for you to implement. So you don't have to faff around figuring out how to do it yourself or listen to things for hours on end. I'm making things really powerful and to the point. So each month's lessons, no matter what it is that you're going to be consuming, it's going to help motivate you and really keep you on track. So there's two options, which you'll learn more about tomorrow. Once the page is live, you can kind of go through it and check it out for yourself. But there's two options in terms of sort of membership wise and payment wise as well. So the first is you can join as a monthly member. So you can join month by month, essentially just like a gym membership, and you can cancel at any time and there's no long-term commitment. Or you can join as an annual member. And there are some pretty special inclusions that I have created if you choose to join as an annual member as well. So in terms of pricing, if you choose the monthly option, it's $49 a month at the founder's rate. And that rate is available for the first 40 people that sign up. And then what's going to happen is that rate is going to increase to $97 a month. And then it will increase again to $197 a month as the vault of trainings and all of the resources increase inside the membership. So it's $49 a month at the founder's rate for the first 40 people, and you'll only ever pay the founder's rate no matter how much the membership increases. So if it increases to $197 in 3 months' time, you'll only ever pay the $49 a month rate for as long as you're a member. And the second option is that there's an annual subscription. So this is for you if you want to join for 12 months and have 12 months of support and inspiring content. You'll be joining me inside Rise Up for an incredible full year of support together. It's an amazing experience for us to spend an entire year together. And if you choose this option, there's a couple of really special inclusions, and I'm pretty excited about these. So if you choose the annual option, you're going to get 2 months free. So you'll save $100. And this is really special. I'm excited about offering this. If you choose the annual option, you'll also get a private one-on-one coaching session with me, and that's valued at $250. So essentially, you're getting $350 worth of free bonuses with this option, and that's one payment of $490 for the entire year. So if you're in a position to join as an annual member and spend this incredible year together, I definitely recommend it, because it's the most value-laden way for us to be able to work together. So you're getting those 2 months free, which essentially is $100 off. And you're also getting that free session with me valued at $250. So I don't offer one-off sessions ever. outside of my long-term programs. So to work with me one-on-one, you would have to join one of my long-term programs, and they're normally 6 or 12 months. But I really wanted to include this as a beautiful bonus for you joining and making that commitment to yourself and your dreams for the year. So inside this private session together, we can really cover anything that you want support with. So if you want to have that really deep and transformative experience with me inside a private session, and you want to create a big shift for yourself to go into the new year, then join with the annual option. And you'll get that session for free, valued at $250. So the link will be coming tomorrow. I'll be sharing more on the live tomorrow, so you can have a look at the page and see it all laid out for you. But I wanted to share it with you now since you're all here, and sometimes it's easier for me to be able to communicate it this way and for you to be able to receive it this way as well. So if it's feeling like a hell yes for you, and you don't want to miss out on the founders rate, and you kind of want to be the first to be able to secure one of those 40 places, then send a message to my page and you'll be the first to receive a link to the sales page when it goes live tomorrow as well. So in addition to all of the beautiful monthly content that's going to be landing in your inbox when you join as a member, the coaching audios, the meditations and visualizations, the Q&A sessions, the beautiful focuses that you're going to get every month. There's also some lovely bonuses that I'm offering for everyone that joins. So I've been talking a little bit about how the recordings from this week are going to come down. If you join either the monthly option or the annual option, you're going to get all of the recordings from this challenge. So for everyone else, the replays will come down at the end of the week. But when you join, so $49, and you can get all of the recordings from this week. You're also going to get access to a really powerful workshop that I ran live last Saturday, and it was called the Design Your Year Workshop, and it had a beautiful journal that I created that went along with it. So this was a live workshop that I held last Saturday. You're going to get this for free, the recording, and this really is the resource for you if you want to dive in and get really clear on your goals for the year ahead. I kind of covered a bunch of stuff that's going to really inspire and support you, and it's going to help you get clear on your dreams and goals and what you want to be experiencing this year. So you get access to the Design Your Year workshop and workbook for free. That's another bonus that you get when you sign up. And you're also going to get what's called Annabelle's High Vibe Habits. So basically, I've created and sort of curated a list of habits that I use in my life that help me stay motivated and energized and healthy and balanced. And I've created and sort of curated them in a beautiful PDF document for you to download and use in your own life. So you can pick up and use my habits in all of those areas and experience the same benefits for yourself. So it's really worth joining Rise Up for the bonuses alone. So $49 at the founders rate, you're getting all of this beautiful weekly content into your inbox to help you live this inspired and incredible life this year. Plus you're getting the recordings from all of this week, the Design Your Year workshop, and the gorgeous journal and the High Vibe Habits for $49. So it's really worth joining for the bonuses alone. And if you want to join as the annual member and get 2 months free, and also a free one-on-one coaching session with me valued at $250, the annual member rate is $490. So hopefully that helps to kind of answer some of the questions that you might have had about the program. I'm super excited to be sharing it with you and love to see as many of you in that program as possible. This is going to be a really wonderful way for you to stay aligned with the things that are important to you this year and to have that ongoing accountability to stay on track, because it's so important for all of us. It's so important to me in my life. It's important for my clients, and I really wanted to create a program that was as affordable as possible so that you can access that same kind of support and really stay on track this year. So I hope that helps. And drop me some of your questions below. Screensaver on your phone. That's a great idea, Lynn. Is there a workbook today? No, there's no workbook today, Rosie. It's just the video. Having a team. I find myself still worrying about being the weirdo with my friends by doing my self-care practice, e.g. plaster my home with notes. I know it's silly, but it still pops up. Yeah. And, you know, sometimes I do feel a little bit the same as well. Like if there's people that I'm not necessarily close to and they come to our house and there's affirmations all over the house, it's kind of hilarious. But I'm kind of just like, well, this is who I am. And this work's important to me and it works and it helps me. So, you know, the people that get it, they're the ones that stick around. And, you know, the people who should be sticking around in your life, Lorna, are the ones that really value and respect you for who you are. So we shouldn't need to wear a mask around friends. And if we do, you know, it might be time to take a look at some of those friendships as well. So I just think it's really safe for all of us to be who we are. It's safe to be ourselves. It's safe for us to shine our light. And it's time to kind of take some of the masks off that we often wear as women and just be who we are. And it's a process. It doesn't just happen like that, right? It's a process that we've got to work through. But yeah, it's safe to be all of you. That's kind of what I could say. Hey, Christine. You're keen for monthly, Pauline? Awesome. Yes, please. You'll be the first to sign up monthly. Yay, Christine. So good. Can't wait. Sounds amazing, Gloria. Love to see you in there. When do we need to say yes for Founders Rate, today or tomorrow? So if you want to make sure that you are the first to know when the page goes live, send me a message and I'll make sure you get it first. And then essentially there's no kind of time factor on the Founders Rate. It's really just as quick as the 40 places go, and then it will increase to 97 a month. So it would pay to get on board if it's feeling like a yes for you. That's why I kind of wanted to give you as much notice as possible before it went live, so that you have some time to have a think about it and hear more about it, ask any questions that you've got, so that when it does go live, you can press the go button if it's feeling good for you. Nailed it, says Paula. Thanks, Paula. Okay, ladies, well, I'm going to leave this here. This has been a little bit longer, but I'm going to head off and have some dinner shortly and finish off my evening. But we're back tomorrow night for our last session of the Change Your Habits, Change Your Life Challenge, and it's an open Q&A session. So I'm not going to have anything prepared, no prepared content for you. It's all going to be about you. So bring your questions along, the things that you've been struggling with, and I'm more than happy to answer those for you. It's a great opportunity to get some personalized support from me. And as I said in the beginning, when I'm answering a question for one person, I'm often answering it for the whole room, the room. That's what I like to call it, the room. I'm answering it for the whole room, because when we come together in communities like this and in sort of places and experiences like this, we're all dealing with the same stuff. The same challenges come up, and I really appreciate that some of you have shared really openly about things that have been going on in your life. So thank you for doing that, because I know that really helps everyone else when we can be vulnerable and ask for support. And I can support you, you're actually supporting so many other people as well. So your question is going to help everyone else, and other people's questions are really going to help you too. So I'll see you back here, same time as always, tomorrow night, back here for our last session of the Change Your Habits, Change Your Life Challenge. Really looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night and helping you with those questions. And I have loved being here with you this week. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for being who you guys are, for showing up for yourself, and being so positive and engaging and really opening yourself up to this experience. It's been such a pleasure for me to come in and help you when you're also ready and keen for the change. So it's been a real pleasure from my end. So thank you. You're signing up, Gloria. Yay! That's awesome, Gloria. You too as well, Nicola. Beautiful. That's so great, Nicola. Awesome. You've PM'd me, Emma. Wonderful. And if you have any questions about Rise Up, feel free to send me a message as well. More than happy to answer those. Thank you. You're welcome. No worries, Emma. Rosie's saying, if anyone needs a little push, Annabelle's been coaching me for a few years and she's amazing with every penny I've spent. Rosie, thank you. Received with a lot of gratitude. Thank you. It's been a pleasure working with you. Thanks, Annabelle. You're awesome, Joanna. You're awesome, Joanna. Thank you for being here. Thanks, Miriam. Thank you, Michelle. Thanks, Amanda. You're keen as well, Michelle. Beautiful. Love to support you, Michelle, as well. Okay, ladies, I'm going to leave it there, and I will see you soon. Bye.